Hi there, and welcome to this week's edition of Top End Track Talk. I'm Andrew O'Toole, and today we'll be previewing this coming Saturday's meeting here from Fanny Bay, which is the 23rd of May. Unfortunately, the 0 to 70,000 was deleted due to a lack of entries, so we are left with 5 races on the card. Some 33 horses have accepted for the fixture, with the highlight being the first ever appearance on race day in the top end of super sprinter Dakota Lee, who collected her second successive Pioneer Sprint in Alice Springs 3 weeks ago. She will take on just 4 rivals in the second race of the day over 1,300 metres. The first on the card gets underway at 2:01 p.m, while the last is timed to go at 4:35 p.m. In the first, the Ladbrokes hosted Potts handicap for the 0 to 64 sprinters over 1,300 metres, and my numbers are 1, 3 and 4. Going here with the co-top weight, number 1, a Bow Factor, trained by Terry Gillette, and Deborah Barton takes them out, claims the 2 kilos. Could be in for a very good day, Terry. Of course, he trains Dakota Lee, as we know. Bow Factor comes off a last start win in Alice Springs. That was on Sprint Day down there, the 2nd of May. Drops back in trip and grade. That was over 1,600 in Alice, back to the 1,300 here, but that was a 66, and he's back to a 64 here. Only has to reproduce his best form, and he'll be hard to beat here, number 1. Ahead of 3, Ankle Rolex. Well, it's hard to argue with his form. He's won his last 3. Billy Cray's been aboard for his last 2 wins, takes them out again for Pat Johnston. And he's up in grade. He won a 58 last time, so up to a 64, but he's racing so well, he's got to be in the mix. And in for third, number 4, Fields of Courage, from the Gary Clark stable. Jared Todd aboard. Second at its only start in Darwin. That was behind Anecdotal, and that was on the 24th of April, so a month between runs. Wasn't a bad run, got beat 5 lengths on that occasion, but certainly you have to put it in your multiples here. So numbers in the first are 1, 3 and 4. The second, the DCOH Guineas in 6 weeks open. This also over 1,300. It's the open handicap, only the 5 to go around, and of course the highlight and the star act of the whole day is number 1, Dakota Lee. Not surprisingly, she's my on-top selection. I've gone 1, 2 and 4 here. Dakota Gillette rides, her namesake, trained by her father Terry, having her first ever start in Darwin, as I mentioned earlier. A couple of times she's trialled here. I've seen her trial on this track and she goes like an absolute bomb. But when it comes to a race day, she's had a few issues and just hasn't been able to get to the start line. So hopefully on Saturday we see the very best of Dakota Lee. 1,300 metres. Shouldn't worry her. She's won over 1,400 as a 3-year-old, but that's a number of years ago. And the 1.5 kilos off brings her in at 61.5 kilos, just a half kilo more than she carried to win the Pioneer Sprint 3 weeks ago when she beat Baldinio. 1 on top to beat the stablemate Great Buy, number 2. Ray Viger rides for Terry. His was a good run, I thought, in the Pioneer. He ran 7th, but he's only beaten 3.5 lengths behind his stablemate and was hitting the line really well. The 1,300 metres suits him. He's won at this trip before and been placed twice as well. So I've got him in to run second, and in for third, number 4, Atlantic Ocean. Deborah Barton for Paul Shires. I went 2 starts back when beating Orion the Hunter. That was 27th of March, and then Field finished down the track in 5-horse race behind Field of Flutes last time, but not much went right. Wasn't beaten overly far, so back in this grade, or certainly up against this calibre, I've got him in to run third, number 4, Atlantic Ocean. So numbers in the second are 1, 2 and 4. The third, the Book DTC Gala Ball Handicap. Of course, Carnival's not far away. Our next meeting here in a fortnight's time is the start of 12 meetings in about 8 weeks. So Carnival right on our doorstep. This is the 1,200 for the Class 2 Gallopers. My numbers here are 5, 1 and 3. Going in with 5, Self-Serve, trained by Tom Logan. Hannah LeBlanc takes the mount. Was very unlucky last time out when finishing 4th behind Runaway Tycoon. Copped the check coming to the home turn and hit the line well to finish 4th. Should have run second, I believe. Wouldn't have beaten Runaway Tycoon, I don't think, but certainly gets its chance here. Goes from barrier 4, and as I mentioned, Hannah takes the mount. So 5 on top for me, Self-Serve. To beat number 1, Fury. Jared Todd for Gary Clark. Was a winner at its first start in Darwin, then was down the track at its second, and its 2 subsequent runs have been third placings behind Atlantic Ocean and Anecdotal. Only has to turn in a performance like that. It'll be right in the finish. And in for third, number 3, Southampton Flair, who's done very little wrong for Chloe Baxter. Stan Sakos takes them out on Saturday. Was a winner 3 starts back, and then 2 good seconds behind Ankle Rolex and No I'm Not. So putting Southampton Flair in to run third. So numbers in race 3 are 5, 1 and 3. The fourth's the Tab Trobus 3-year-old handicap. This, the first of the 3-year-old races as we build towards the Guineas on day one of the carnival in 6 weeks' time. This an ABR over the 1100 metres, probably on the short side for just about all of these horses. And of course, the only one I've seen is Rivers of Babylon, trained by Rhonda Cole. So it's an interesting race, a bit of an unknown this one. And I've gone with the numbers of 1, 5 and 2. Marimbula on top. It's the only horse that's won a race here is Marimbula, trained by Gary Clark. Aaron Sweeney takes the mount. 1-4 starts back at Mornington. That was over 1,500 metres. And then got out over a trip out to 2,000 metres. So 1,100 metres you would suggest might be on the short side for Marimbula. Hasn't had a run since the 31st of March, but just by virtue of the fact that it has won a race, I've got it on top to beat Sweet Twilight, number 5, trained by Chloe Baxter, 3-year-old filly by Trapeze Artist and Stan Sakos in the saddle. 6 starts for a win, 2 seconds, for a second, 2/3 and 2/4. So yet to win a race, Sweet Twilight, but it has been placed second at Kembla Grange, third at Gosford, and fourth at Newcastle and also at Canberra. So stepping in here, last start was over 2,000 metres. So very similar to Marimbula. Hard to get a line on these horses, but I've got it in to run second. And then for third, number 2, Perfitas. Second of the Clark trained runners, Jared Todd aboard. Last start second at Colac, that was the 1st of March. Prior to that did run third at Cranbourne and been placed 5th at Cranbourne and Ararat. And over distances up to 1,400 metres. So keep an eye on Perfitas. It's my third selection in a very open 3-year-old race. We'll learn certainly something out of this race on Saturday. Numbers in the fourth are 1, 5 and 2. And in the last, the biggest field of the day, 10 to go round here in the Mitcon Projects handicap. This over the 1,600 metres for the 0 to 58 gallopers. Numbers here are 2, 9 and 4. Going with Bolin, number 2 for Clark Racing and Jared Todd. Very impressive, I thought, when winning here last time out over this trip of 1,600 metres. That was in 0 to 64 grade, so it actually drops back in grade. So you would certainly say it's hard to beat here. And as I mentioned, won really well, won by nearly 8 lengths last time. Got its own way in front. If it does that again, it'll take all sorts of beating, you would suspect. Number 2 on top, Bolin. Ahead of number 9, Max Rock. Returns from Alice Springs, ran second there on Cup Day over 2,000 metres behind Figo the Great. Figo the Great since came out and finished 4th in the Tennant Creek Cup last week. Dakota Rides will carry 55 kilograms, Max Rock. Dropping back in trip, probably the only question mark. It really looks a middle distance trip is what it wants, but certainly the mile won't hurt it. Max Rock, number 9, in for second, and in for third, number 4, the last start winner, No I'm Not, trained by Chris Pollard, and Deborah Barton takes the mount again. Was good here when winning at the last meeting on the 9th of May over 1,300 metres. Stepping up to the mile, shouldn't worry, No I'm Not. So in the last, my numbers are 2, 9 and 4. Best bet on the day, race 3, number 5, Self Serve. I think it'll get its just desserts. As I say, very unlucky last start, and with even luck this time, I think it can win. Race 3, number 5, Self Serve. Well, the best roughies in the last, there's a number of that you could put in here, but going with number 8, Danger Man, if he turns up and puts his best effort in, he can certainly get some of it in the last. Race 5, number 8, Danger Man. Well, that wraps up this edition of Top End Track Talk. We'll be back again for the next meeting in Darwin in a fortnight's time, Saturday the 6th of June, which will be King's birthday weekend. That is the start, as I mentioned earlier, of no less than 12 meetings in just over 8 weeks in Darwin, culminating, of course, in the running of the Great Northern Darwin Cup, the last race on the 3rd of August. But it'll be here before you know it. Until next time, good luck and good punting.